Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of Class Action Megapark. In the last video, I made a start on the mine-themed area of the park, and I made this pair of free fall drop towers where the seats actually rotate. So yeah, quite a fun ride, especially like how there's a silly house on top. And in this episode, I want to make a coaster in this area. Now, I've gotten a suggestion from several people to make a coaster where the trains actually share sections of the track. So that's something which I'm going to try out in this episode. Now, several players have made coasters where trains shared parts of the track throughout the years. So I'm just going to be using several of their ideas in this track, mixed with some ideas of my own. Anyway, it will be a dueling coaster, and one trick which I will be using is, I will just prepare the example and then I'll explain it. Okay, what I did now is I made an inverted track here, and I put the mine trains on it, and I lowered the inverted track by a bit. I'm just going to make this track here now invisible. And if we now run this train here, which we should see it run on the track. At least I think it looks like it's on the track, or at least it works well enough in my opinion. So it's maybe 1 pixel too high, but I think it looks convincing enough. So what I want to do with this trick is that I can make it actually look like this train is also running on the same track, and that way I can make it look like like these tracks are actually merged without actually merging them. As you can see, they run pretty much at the same height on this track, even though this track is lower, and that way the tracks will not merge. So I will be building these two tracks side by side. I will do some trickery with stations to make sure that they're synchronized, and I'll make them go up the lift hill somewhere over here, and somewhere in the middle of the track I should be able to get both tracks to meet up in such a way that the coasters will be chasing each other. Alright, this will be quite some head scratching. So I'll just get started with it and see if I can make it work. Alright, I've been struggling a bit to get it to work so far, but I think what I got so far actually does work quite nicely. It's a bit tricky to get them to actually run both in this state, mostly because I use some extra stations that I copied and pasted in with the tile inspector. And it's a bit annoying to get them to not register as a second station, which just happened. But yeah, so far they've been following each other quite nicely here. Now I think I cannot have them on the same track for too long, because there may be differences in the number of guests in the vehicles. So at this point they will probably both have a different speed. So if the back train is heavier, at some point it will catch up. So I'll probably just make it go over the path here again. And then after that I'll probably split them up again and then just have them duel against each other again. And I'll try to come up with another situation where the tracks, maybe I'll let the tracks cross or something. I'll think of something cool. Alright, I've been struggling a bit with this second section. I probably already rebuilt it 10 times, but I will get there eventually. Alright, I finally have a layout which I'm sort of happy with. So yeah, here you can see the first drop. After this the trains meet up here on the same track and they chase each other through the loop. Then afterwards there's quite a long underground section. Normally I'm not really a fan of big underground sections, but the track isn't too difficult to follow here. And yeah, it's quite a simple underground track. Now over here the trains emerge again. Now first off I just had the tracks next to each other for this section, but yeah, I kind of wanted to have them do something fun. So that's why I actually decided to have them pass over each other here. Now I think I'm just going to replace these wide bands with S-bands. I think that will make the interaction a bit nicer between these cars. Just makes these tracks look like they're a bit closer together than they are now. Alright, now that these tracks have been built, an important step of this construction is actually to make the inverted track disappear and to actually replace it with Mine Train Coaster track. So I will have to make all this inverted coaster track invisible. Now I cannot change it into a different ride type because it's important that the train stays at this height. So I will just keep it here at the as an inverted coaster, and instead I'll use the tile inspector to make all these pieces invisible, which will be quite a big task. But yeah, it's probably best to just get going with it. Okay, I did something which I really like to do here, which is to actually change the front vehicle of the trains to a different one. And this is a train, a kind of style for train which was often used in the early days for making the train for an RMC coaster. So basically it's most of the vehicles are looping coaster cars, but the front vehicle is the articulated wooden roller coaster car. And this is a special, I believe this is something that Mackett first used in one of his entries. But yeah, I really like this style. I think it makes for really cool looking trains. Okay, the track of the inverted coaster is now invisible. No, I should still make a loop here. But yeah, now it's time to try and actually make it look nice. So the coaster obviously still needs a station, and the surroundings of the coaster also, of course, still need to be done, because right now it's still not looking like much. Alright, we have a situation here where there will be the most difference in speed between the trains, because the one that's supposed to be behind is completely full of guests, and the one that will be in front is actually only the last vehicle here is filled. So it will be interesting to see how much the guest weight actually affects this ride. Alright, the trains are a bit closer now. They should get a bit closer out the ride, but yeah, it does look like it doesn't really matter that much. Because, there will only be the underground section. After that, they split up again. So yeah, that's good news that the guest weight doesn't really seem to make much of a difference here for this section. It does look like one of the trains is much more popular than the other. But yeah, not really much I can do about that, other than I could probably change the path layout a bit so that guests would favor going in choosing one direction over the other. But I'm not going to bother with that for now, because there's still so much to do on making this ride look nice and finishing it. Alright, I would love to continue building, but there's simply too much left for me to do to finish it all in this episode. So I will now, this will be the last building I will be doing in this video. I do want to add some extra patrons to the park, so that's what I will be doing now. Now this area is still far from complete, so I think I'll add my patrons in some other areas of the park that are already completed. And then later I will add some spots here for newer patrons. Alright, over here on top of the place with the shark, I'll put an entertainer, and his name will be Can of Rabbit Holes, also known as Adam G. He's been a supporter for quite a long time. I think he will really love this spot, since he was also the one who made an organ that played Baby Shark on our Minecraft server. So yeah, I hope you enjoy your spot in the park, Adam, and thanks a lot for the support. Now I want to add another patron to the park. Now I added one to the roof over here, so we can probably also add one to this roof over here. Alright, and this entertainer on the roof here, it will be named Zach Combs. So thanks a lot, Zach Combs, for supporting me. It's really much appreciated. And again, I hope you enjoy your spot here in the park. Okay, yeah, that was enough building for me for today. In the next episode, I will continue decorating this ride. So I still have to build the station and most of the surroundings. And in the next episode, I could probably fit in another ride here somewhere. A small ride, probably. Alright, I hope you enjoyed watching me build. And if you liked this video, please consider giving it a like. It will really help out my channel, and it just takes a second to do. For the rest of the episode, it will probably be fun to follow around these trains as they go through the track. Alright, I hope you enjoyed watching me build, and I'll see you again in the next video. See you later.